You're now tuned into Mic Check Waifu. Hello and tell, is that you?
Mic check, waifu. Martelli D. Williams, is that you?
And you know it is. What's up?
This is episode 138 of Mic Check Waifu. As always, it's proudly brought to you by Loot Complex. Make sure you go to lootcomplex.com. Use the offer code waifu to save on your entire cart. Check out lootcomplex.com. They just did a revamp and restock of a lot of their merch. Check it out. Tell them Mic Check Waifu sent you in the happy comments down below. When you use that code waifu, they'll appreciate that just as much as we do. Listen, I think I'm gonna call this episode Heat Week. I'm gonna just jump right into it because it's definitely Heat Week. But before we get into that, we have to thank a brand new sponsor. Not a brand new sponsor, a brand new patron, brand new producer. Okay, this is
producer credits.
You know, whenever we get a new Patreon, no matter what tier they support us at, they always get a proper shout out, and we love you for it. Absolutely love you for it. But this shout out is special because it comes from one of our good friends, our boy Johnny of Analytical Podcast. Thank you so much for supporting the podcast. Check podcasts. They're incredible folks there. It's a lot of them. I will give them all shout outs, but I don't want to forget one because it's like 17,000 of them.
It's at least 8 of them people.
But we love you all the same. Thank y'all so much for supporting the podcast because every time y'all are shouting us out, and we love y'all for that. Thank you so very much. Johnny the homie. He gonna teach us how to get our TikTok together. Hey, follow us on TikTok at Mic Check Waifu. The rest of the Patreon producers, the GOATs, the greatest of all times. AB. Oh, what was that? I think I'm dying, bro.
I hope not. Not on the podcast. Not live.
I'm gonna die live, apparently. I'm going through puberty again. I don't know what the fuck that was at 30 years old. AB, Aaron Brown, Dre, the GOAT, G, Ked, the Pro, explicitly, Monique Williams, Nachi. I wonder, Nachi, how you doing, man? Hit me up on Discord. Let me know how you doing. I haven't talked to you in a minute. I'm on one today because, like I said, it's Heat Week. Absolutely, abso-fucking-lutely impossible. I feel like to pick a episode of the week. No, it's easy. Scratch that. Hear me out, Hear me out. See, y'all should see the video version that you get early on the Patreon exclusive. Listen, hear me out.
That foul shit you just said out your mouth.
before you kill me, okay? Before you lynch me on live TV, listen to me, Mattel, okay?
Take my headphones off.
Listen, there is something about this week that was crazy, and I'm gonna get to it a little bit later. But first, before I do that, listen, support us on Patreon. You get access to the exclusive podcast called The After Story. We just recorded a dope one covering video games and all things we've been doing. How we like in H-Town and all that. You can just support for $1 or above to get access to all exclusive After Story podcast episodes. When you're on our Patreon, just type The After Story or After Story actually, and then all of the After Story podcast episodes will pop up. They're all like, some of them are time related, like recent stuff, recent video games that came out or whatever, but a lot of them are just us kind of talking like it's therapy. So check that out. But back to the Heat Week at hand. For me personally, obviously it's easy. Everybody know we're gonna say Demon Slayer. We're a Demon Slayer podcast. Fuck what you heard. Listen, we love it. We love Demon Slayer. It built this podcast. Absolutely, bar none, destroyed this week everything.
Right, but outside of Demon Slayer, you're going to say Platinum Man, right?
I'm about to turn this podcast around. No.
Like, it's not a card. You can grab the steering wheel, turn it around.
No, not Platinum Man. Okay, Platinum Man was even okay. It wasn't even as bad as usual. And the reason why I think it was okay because of the character that they introduced, a little emo dude. His philosophical rants was fucking okay. It was actually well written. So Platinum Man was okay this week. Was it good? Nah, I wouldn't fucking good.
It wasn't good.
No, I would never say it was good, but it was okay. That's why it's Heat Week, okay? When you got Platinum Man and then on top of everything else we watch being Platinum Man being okay, everything else being great, amazing. So, okay, scratch that. Episode of the week for me outside of the fucking heavenly demons that are Ufotable, Demon Slayer, is My Dress Up Darling. I fucking enjoyed every last minute of this episode. It was wonderful from front to fucking back. Oh, and absolutely incredible storytelling with our main characters in a monologue of how he feeling about the situation after, how he felt during, how he felt after, them displaying his anxiety with all those people around. I absolutely adored that because I suffer from the same thing. It's literally, his anxiety is the exact same anxiety I got. His is specifically to women. Mine isn't so much, it's just people in general. But it was incredible. It was so well done that I enjoyed that so very much. And the other pieces of it too was pretty great. Sorry, I've been talking a lot, Till. What was your episode of the week this week? I'm on one tonight. Heat Week.
It's hard because things like Ranking of Kings was
really good.
On one this week. Obviously, Demon Slayer was on one this week. I feel like this is another good episode of Attack on Titan.
How the realest hero rebuilt the fucking kingdom.
Yeah, even the Genius Prince's Guide to Raise a Nation Out of Debt. Fire. That was another really good episode this week.
Yes. You only get one.
I hate you kind of though.
Yeah, because it's My Dress Up Darling, right? Love of Kill was heat. Tokyo 24/4 was powerful.
There was and a lot of the stuff that was really good in this week's episode was some of them just had really good context or really good explanation, really good details and story. But yeah, My Dress Up Darling. If I'm not straight up caping for Demon Slayer,
facts.
It's My Dress Up Darling.
Yeah. See, the thing, what made How the Realest Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom so fucking phenomenal too was the Machiavelli quotes. Or Machiavelli is how you pronounce it in their home country or whatever. But the Machiavelli quotes was fucking phenomenal. How he used those to weed out the rest. I'm not going to go into full spoilers. It was incredible. It was just incredible.
And ramifications.
Yes. The ramifications, the consequences. Oh, just too much. It's just too much. I am ecstatic about this week. Heat Week in anime, man. I don't know how to act. I got my bikini on. You feel me?
Oh my God.
It's Heat Week.
You about to get Polo in the gym with me anyway.
Hey, what that mean? What you trying to say? You want to see me in a bikini, bro? Come on, man.
Hey, look, I don't body judge like
really
that.
Do be your own. He just judged me. He just body shame me.
I don't body shame.
That's crazy.
I don't do that.
My own brother.
I mean, if I do body shame anybody, it's got to be you.
I hate him.
It's only because you my brother. So I know, even though I might cause some emotional damage, personal. I promise I ain't trying to hurt you.
Nah, I don't give a fuck. Hey, don't nothing nobody say do anything to me, to be honest.
We the same on that level.
Oh man, I'm in the mood though. Listen,
I see you got your legs up. We seeing your leggings and everything.
Yeah. Oh, my leggings. Not my joggers. You call them leggings.
Oh, my bad. Hey, look, I be wearing compression pants. Because I wear compression pants because I wear them to the gym all the time. But
I would never wear underwear at the gym. I always wear compression pants and then some shorts. Mm-hmm. No, fuck. No, I'm not putting my fucking balls in drawers. Are you crazy while I'm working out? Especially when I'm running 5 miles.
He be running on that treadmill. So why is everything Jacob? Get the compression pants or the compression shorts.
Yes. You got to have either the compression shorts or the compression pants because it's tragic if you don't.
They came to Mike Check Waifu for anime.
Oh updates, shit, this anime.
But they getting fitness wear
I'm
clothing.
I'm bugging. This is an anime podcast. Listen. Yeah, man. Heat Week. Attack on Titan was a good episode. The only reason, is there any critiques I have about anything this week besides Platinum Man?
Yeah, we gonna break them down. Which you want to critique?
I don't know what to break down first because this was my favorite. I think this was my favorite group of chapters in Attack on Titan when I was reading it. So it was awesome to see how they visualized. Slight spoilers. Everybody fucking saw it. I don't even know why I'm even saying that. How they visualized the rumbling, but not the past of Ymir was so well done. Actually, very ugly, which it was intentional. Obviously, I loved that though. I absolutely loved how intentionally ugly it was. It, for some reason, it artistically stuck out for me.
I do want to talk about intentions a little bit later, especially when we get into Demon Slayer.
Okay.
Because I say it every time, but there are intentional things that you do in a series that will create impact.
That fire real? What the fuck? Anyway, it's fucking insane. It's insane. I don't even know. I'm gonna be real with you. This is the first time, and this may be a complete lie. I could be lying to everybody listening to this episode right now. I'm coming into this episode recording with nothing. Right now, I have nothing on my head that I want to discuss. I'm just here for the ride. Heat week, I'm sweating. You know what I'm saying?
You said I'm sweating.
Metaphorically sweating because of the heat I just watched, and I literally just watched pretty much as I could. Like literally, like 15 minutes ago, I just wrapped up like 4 shows. Okay,
so, then let's do this.
What's up?
Before we get to the good stuff,
talk to me.
Let's just cover a little bit of Platinum End.
Okay. Talk to
so
me.
We don't bring it into spoiler talk.
Yeah. No Platinum End spoiler talk. We're gonna talk about it now.
We got better stuff.
Let's do it.
While this episode was okay, and I say okay, I mean okay as fuck because it still wasn't good.
True.
The introduction of that new character,
emo boy,
was definitely needed, and I'm just thinking the whole time I'm watching this anime, without going into too much spoiler context, that like. The only thing I see at this point making this better is they introduce the Death Note and making it like the god, what do they call them? The god candidates versus like a Death Note wielder or something like that. I have no idea. Or even at this point, it's like there's nothing that's redeeming for me when watching this. Like,
yeah, that's true.
I don't care what happens next.
Yeah, I don't think anybody does at this point. That's a good point because if you're watching the video version with the early access of VR Patreon, if you're watching the video version of this podcast, you would have saw my face. My face turned up like I was ready to deny that shit until I just took 2 seconds to even think about that. As whimsical as that may sound, introducing someone with a Death Note will be fucking interesting as hell because then we have a connection to these two worlds, obviously, which will be kind of cool. If you ask me, maybe the motherfucker that they did in that one shot, that Death Note one shot. Well, no, they can't do that, but
because he killed him.
Yeah, so maybe not. But like, it would have been kind of cool. Would it have been redeeming? Probably not, because it wouldn't make no fucking sense. We'd be like, what?
But here's the thing, though, is that like it does kind of make sense in the context of how they did everything.
Sure.
Because the Death Note people with Death Notes can only see other people with Death Notes or their wielders and whatnot. The Shinigami.
Oh boy, I forgot about that piece. Don't make Platinum Man even worse for me.
So it's like I would love to get a crossover where there's like the idea that the Death Note wielders can see the god candidates and that like they become some kind of threat in the end to the final god candidate. Like the god candidate has, I don't know, bro. It's just, I need something to mix this shit up because it's not working for me anymore.
So it's entirely possible, but will it be good? Fuck no, dude. That don't even, I mean, that sounds interesting.
They've already messed it up. There's nothing to really like.
I guess you can't. Could it be worse?
That's the issue that I feel right now, right? Is that if it had started off on that kind of tip where that could have been a process, right? Mm-hmm. I don't think it would even be a bad idea if it started off like that. Now it's way too hard to introduce something like that into this series when it's going in this route.
You might be right. You might be onto something. Yeah, I agree. I don't think there's no redeeming qualities of it. I just wish at least what I was looking at was pretty. Like the show's ugly as fuck.
The only thing they do right is eyes, and that's not all the time.
No. I don't know. I just feel like this was something that the author of Death Note, I can't remember his name right now, threw together because he had writer's blocks or something. I don't fucking know. This doesn't.
Said bro had writer's block.
This doesn't feel. It doesn't feel remotely the same. Well, it feels the same in like the bad ways. Like you just reminded me the fact that nobody else can see a Death Note wielder other than other Death Note holders, right? So,
yeah, it's not that they couldn't see them. They couldn't see the Shinigami, which was
that's
the only
what I mean.
reveal.
Which is the exact same as other people not being able to see the angels unless you're a god candidate. It's like he bit off himself, and it just makes it even worse. Like,
but that's not even a bad concept, because that in itself, like if that happened in the real world, that makes sense, right? What makes it an issue is how they carrying out this entire series. And I was actually thinking about this too. With this series, like all the god candidates being people who wanted to commit suicide, I would love if there was just like some kind of suicide awareness contextual like statements in this. But there's just nothing. It just feels like there's so much like opportunity where they could be taking shots just for any possible thing and making it somewhat like, you know what, I'll finish this because they're talking about suicide awareness, and because they did say something about how in Japan suicide is the highest rate is the highest thing that kills people between 19 and 39.
Right.
It's suicide. So like tie that in or something. I don't know. I don't even know what they can do, but it's like you gave us an interesting fact, you gave us a somewhat interesting character, and then turned it around. Like I don't know where this is gonna go.
Bro, that's a fact. It goes into what we talked about before. This shit is so it's consistent at being inconsistent. Because with him talking this suicide talk, what the fuck was Red doing? He was quiet as a mouse almost virtually the entire time. With him and his process of thinking, oh, but death is so bad, we need to make everyone happy. He said a few fucking lines about someone would be unhappy about him committing suicide, but then he just kind of like, okay. Like it was like, okay, like whatever. After that, it's fucking stupid. It's dumb.
So hear me out when I say this real quick. Do you think that some of the details in this show are like overly manufactured?
No.
Like they're not like they're giving us too many details that mean nothing instead of giving us stuff that we actually care about. No. Like if they just took out, so you think they should add more context to the series? Because I feel like if they took some stuff out and just made progress into the storyline, I would actually be happier with this.
No, because it's not the detail isn't the problem. It's the content of the detail, right? Like it's detailed.
The content is just bad.
Yeah, the content of the detail is here, and here. Like if I had a fucking so for listeners, not just video watchers, if I had a fucking, I don't know, a refrigerator full of magnets, okay, just fucking give it to a 2-year-old. That's exactly what the details, the content of the details they give us is. It's just fucking scattered everywhere. It's sometimes it overlaps, sometimes it doesn't make sense, sometimes it's inconsistent with the previous like detail. Like you can have a fucking Mario magnet with a goddamn Brazzers magnet on the same refrigerator. Like it doesn't the shit just doesn't fucking, it's not consistently like valuable at all. It doesn't make any sense. Like the detail could be there. I'm okay with the detail, because if the detail wasn't there, I probably would have turned this shit off. I don't care.
I'm more interested in finding out who got the Brazzers magnet on their refrigerator.
next to Mario. Man. You know
I'm inviting them to fuck over, bro. Like, come on, man. Next to Mario. Mamma mia. Oh my God. I am done.
You see what I'm saying? Heat week, man. It's so inconsistent, bro. It's done, man. I'm done. Like if it didn't have the details it does have, though, I wouldn't be watching it at all. Like period. Like it does have some detail where I'm kind of like, okay, I'm intrigued to see what's gonna happen, but do I care? No.
But like, hear me out on this real quick, because I'm trying to wrap my head around this Platinum Man thing.
Yes, sir.
I watched Land of Lido this week.
Fantastic.
It always is. But is it because of our expectations for it? Because Land of Lido is just wholesome, and it's like comedy, but it's not like comedy. It's just it's something we turn on and it's enjoyable. There's some conflict, but then there's like just character understanding what's going on. Like, what makes Land of Lido so much better than Platinum Man for us?
I think I have an answer. It's self-aware. It has an identity. Platinum Man don't know what the fuck it's trying to be. It don't know. It's confused, okay? And that's okay. That's okay. He can be confused. But it ain't gonna be good. Lana Liddell it's a comedy, and it has a single, like, it has an overarching narrative followed by small little details that aren't inconsistent with what the show is, because it's self-aware, right? So you have her obviously doing what she's doing with these towers and trying to find out what the fuck is going on with the situation that she's in, while also managing an everyday life from a video game where it didn't exist before. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can tell what's happening. On top of that, layers of comedy, very sweet, wholesome character, great, sweet, wholesome moments, and you get a nice laugh of it. Like, I smile watching the entire episode all the time, every time. And that's all I can ask for. You know what I'm saying? Right. I don't know.
And I think that identity is important, because that kind of ties into what I want to talk about when we get to Demon Slayer. But I can equate that to kind of like the idea that why you lost so much interest in AOT. Not just the anime lost identity, because the anime didn't necessarily change. Like, Eren Yeager had the same goal all the way through.
Yeah, facts.
But like a lot of those characters lost their identities, and that's why things like Platinum and like we got too many characters battling with an identity that they haven't even established yet. It's just so not good. Whereas Lana Liddell, which is a comedy series that's not meant to be too much, not meant to be too little, is just there. Yeah, that identity sets it in for people to digest and say, "This is what I want."
Definitely digestible, for sure. I don't know, man. It's people like being weird, I guess. I don't know.
You're right. What we moving on to next?
Hey, you got the reins today. I don't fucking know. I'm chilling.
I bet. All right. Did you watch Sabuyuki Bisco?
I forgot about that.
All right, cool. I ain't gonna spoil nothing.
No, yeah. Let's talk about
our characters. Obviously progressed. Did you watch it?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Our characters obviously progressed, and you can see their friendship building up. Heat week, and that's what I'm talking about. Is that like with my check waifu, and I think we identify our interest in anime.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be Heat Week in terms of like amazing animation, amazing action.
Absolutely not.
Heat for us is just great contextual storylines, development of the characters, something that moves everything forward. Because I was watching this episode, and I'm not gonna lie, in the beginning I was like, all right, this is about to be a traveling episode, and I hate traveling episodes where they're trying to get to one place and to another. And I'm like, yo, because it's all bullshit in there.
Every time.
But we got to see some development in how our character thinks of, other characters like the crab and stuff like that. He didn't mention the crab as just a crab. It's his brother. Like, he grew up with the crab. Yeah. I thought that was really cool, to think of like how these characters might have grown up and how they're different. Yes. And even how they adjust to in new scenarios. So I think these are like important details that happen that kind of like, these are the things that make something slightly impactful, even when you hate traveling scenes.
Bro, I can't stand traveling episodes because it always feel like filler. It obviously is used as moments to quote unquote build character, and sometimes it do, and sometimes it does it successfully. Don't mean I don't hate it still. Like, I still hate it when they do it because it just feels, I don't know, like it's not respecting my time. But with this, I mean, we got the character development of Panda. And it's like the way they developed him is they didn't develop him as far as him learning something, right? You know how somebody has to learn something to develop usually. They developed him in a way of him just displaying him just displaying his character in general, him being who he is and the way he is unapologetically to Bisco, who is seeing this from like a different perspective. Who's like, I don't fucking trust these little city folks, or I don't trust really anybody else other than my people. I'm just trying to get to my job and get it done and move on. But he's starting to realize like, oh, okay, not everybody is this type. The way the Panda is learning, the way Panda is learning how to handle the situation that he's in. No spoilers, because I think, what's it called again?
Sabuyuki Bisco.
Sabuyuki Bisco is a fantastic show, and more people need to watch it. so I don't want to spoil too much of it because this was a really, really dope episode. Even with Jellyfish Girl, like that was so interesting too to see how that whole entire situation played out. What I love about Bisco is that he's not really, because I thought he was a savage. You know what I'm saying? I thought he was just a killer. And not in a killer way of like, I'm gonna kill everybody, but just a fucking mean piece of shit, broody type of character. And he's not. He's much more than that too. So I don't know. I love this episode.
And that's filling out the storyline too, because if you think that that's what the world displays him as. Absolutely. And that's very intentional. You see a character who is displayed as a villain, even how they first demonstrated him for us in the anime. Yeah. He seemed threatening, ominous. But as we kind of get further, he and I still think he a demon for real. Like Absolutely. I still think he can be on some trash if he wanted to. For sure. But it's not for the reasons that they display. It's just a grand misunderstanding amongst the entire world. Right. Versus him and his people, basically. And I don't mean his people as in like his race of people, but like the mushroom wielders. Yeah. You know? The people don't understand because they haven't taken the time to learn. Whereas somebody like Panda, he was already on the verge of understanding. He was already there. He was like, I'm going to try and do this because it doesn't make sense to me yet. And he figured it out before Bisco brought it to him. Absolutely. So I just thought it was this series does a lot of really cool things without trying to underdo it or overdo it. It was on point.
Absolutely. I even took the time. So this week, I did so good at the beginning of the week with catching up on all my shows. I even took the time to watch something old.
What was that?
It's called Love, Election, and Chocolate.
Love, Election, and Chocolate.
Love, Election, and Chocolate. So it starts off completely different than what it ended up being throughout the episode. It starts off with this girl who has a DSLR camera, and she's like taking a picture of what appears to be students, or an adult and a student making some sort of transaction that looked obviously illegal. Should look like a drug deal. It was crazy. It's crazy. I'm like, what the fuck is this? She takes the picture, boop, boop. She realizes who that person is. She's like, oh shit, I should probably, take this shot and keep it moving. So she keeps it moving. And when she's keeping it moving, the girl she took the picture from or took the picture of decides to turn the car around or have her driver turn the car around. And they run the chick over with the camera. They kill her, essentially. I think she's dead. She might not be dead because if I remember this correctly, nope, she wasn't dead in the first episode. They showed her in the hospital at the end of the episode. But before that was at the beginning. Then the intro come on. I obviously skip it. And then we get to the meat of the show, and the meat of the show is about this little club. It's this club that they literally just review candy in this club, and it's super whimsical and comedic, and different personalities coming together and reviewing different candies, and it's like this super interesting dynamic because you got this guy and there's a bunch of girls, and the guy like it's very, very strange. And then you start to see the way they do their student council, and their student council is like a fucking delegation. It's like the Capitol Hill. These motherfuckers is passing different rules throughout the school, and you're like, wait, what the fuck is this show I'm watching?
Like Kakegurui?
No, not that extreme, but it definitely had me feeling like, what is this? What is this overarching thing? When we go to the Capitol Hill situation is the student passing passing down this rule, quote unquote, law that they're going to cut some of these pointless clubs. Obviously, reviewing candy feels like a pointless club to the school because they're like fucking hemorrhaging money, and they're trying to cut down on some of that shit. So now they're trying to figure out how to keep the club open, and it's this big, yay, let's figure out how to keep our club open. But I'm like, what the fuck happened to the girl that got ran over by the car?
Oh my God.
I was so confused because that happened at literally the first 2 minutes of the show. This girl get hit by this car, and then at the very, very end, during the credits, they show this girl in the hospital who looks comatose. I'm like, oh, I'm about to watch this shit because I was just intrigued. But
I found his drama.
Essentially, I don't even think it is, but essentially, one of the club members decides, the one male character decides he's going to run for election as student council president. So that's where the election part comes in, to try to thwart their plan to close down all these clubs. So I don't know. I don't know what the fuck this is gonna be. I'm gonna holler back at y'all next week.
I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. When you said that love kill election, love election chocolate, I thought this was hentai.
Man, listen, nah.
That name deserves to be on somebody's DVD back in the day.
Yo, flat out. That's something you download on LimeWire to give you a virus. That's true. No,
but I caught up on Case Study of Vanitas, and I ain't gonna say caught up because I was already caught up. I just watched the latest episode this week.
Talk to me. Fire still?
Yeah, it's still very good. The issue that I had with Case Study of Vanitas was that it threw me for a loop in the beginning because I'm thinking like, why are we still here? Why does this have any meaning to the story? And then it hit me in the fucking face with like, this is why it means something to the story. Because I was literally watching the episode and I'm thinking in my head, this makes no sense. This doesn't matter. None of this shit matters. Why are we still here? But I loved that it was like, shut up. Pay attention.
Oh, you just blew me back. Now I'm interested.
We know that if a vampire gives their name to the fuck they call it, charlatan, if they give their name to charlatan, that they become cursed. And the curses give off different scenarios, effects, transform the vampires in different ways. We learned something new about the curse in these last 2 episodes, but it was just such a cool concept, and it actually did drive the story forward. I was being impatient, I guess.
Yes.
But the patience really pays off with how they delivered it, and it was so good. I was very surprised.
Let me tell you.
I know it's not dubbed yet, so I'm sorry, but you know,
that's okay. Let me tell y'all something about Tails' patience. He doesn't have any.
Not for this. I do have a lot of patience, but for people, not for
real
this.
shit. Yeah, for real life stuff. You're not very patient for the digital society. And let me explain. I'm gonna just tell y'all I got a story to tell. Okay.
Oh my God. What you about to say, bro?
So, all right. I remember it like it was yesterday because guess what? It probably was. we were playing this new video game. Okay, it's a new video game that just came out recently called Dying Light 2. Okay,
for 3 because I'm playing 3. They playing 2.
We're playing Dying Light 2, and Tails never played a Dying Light game, so obviously he gets a little leeway for this. I'm watching him. I'm literally listening to him do the tutorial piece. It was 2 days ago, but I digress.
Yeah, tutorial was 2 days ago. Yeah,
I'm listening to him do the tutorial, and he just was sitting like, "Why this ain't working? Why this ain't working?" I'm like, "Did you read what it says?" He's like, "Oh shit, my fault." And that has been literally the entire time we've been playing this game together. Oh shit, my fault. I just didn't even read it. Oh shit, my fault. I just didn't even read it. He thought it was something going on with the game, and in real life, it was just him just not reading it because he's impatient. The words are right there on the screen on what he needs to do. And I'm like, you are so impatient, which is unusual.
Hear me out, bro.
Hear me out, dude.
There's an icon on the screen, and it's telling me what to press.
In the middle, and it's in the center of the screen, by the way.
It wasn't in the center of the screen. It was in the top right-hand side. I'm about to
put a picture of it right here in the video.
No, I'm not talking about that specific part. I'm just saying this happened once. Okay. Other times I was just being impatient. Leave me alone. But it's a little symbol on the side. It's saying like a whole F or a whole G or something. I don't know what it's telling me to hold, but it's telling me to hold some shit. And I'm looking at the screen. I'm like, why can't I move? Why is it not letting me move? And I'm just like, what is going on here?
Oh shit.
And then I'm like, Polo saying something. I'm just looking around the screen like I can't understand what the fuck is going on. Like I think my game crashed. And I look at it and I see the symbol. I was like, oh, I just had to press this button and hold it down for a few seconds. Oh my God.
This has been a great experience though, playing this with Till though. Like I don't know why we weren't recording any of it, but it's just hilarious watching somebody, because Dying Light 2 is obviously it's a new game, but you don't need to play Dying Light 1 to play Dying Light 2. So he's just jumping into Dying Light 2 with like no previous knowledge, and it's hilarious. It's the greatest shit
ever. What Polo doesn't know about me is that my first horror game was like a dinosaur game, and you had to travel. It was like Resident Evil, but it was dinosaurs. And then I played Resident Evil, and then I've also played this game named Creatures, which was this horror travel, like you travel around the world game. And like I have a slight anxiety for horror games.
Yeah.
And it's not that I'm scared of anything. It's more of the fact that I have to make a decision at some point.
No, you were kind of frightened. You were startled. Hey, check out his stream, twitch.tv/KingTeliano. He was kind of frightened. It's a previous broadcast.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. But I'm saying like it's not like I'm not really scared because I do fuck with the zombies. It's live. That shit live. But what I'm saying though is like I gotta make a decision about people's lives and shit.
Oh, that shit. Yeah.
And I'd be like, oh.
Every single time he had a decision, he did that exact noise.
I was like, like somebody gonna die if I make the wrong decision.
Yeah.
And then I make a decision and do want to fight me because I'm like, I'm not a liar. What do you want me to do? He want to run my fade. He knocked me the fuck out.
God, that is so funny. It was a good time watching him play that because I never seen Tell with anxiety other than like that. I'm like, dude, I'm seeing some anxiety coming from you right now.
Polo done seen me fly across the room hitting people.
Yeah,
it didn't take me no time to make that decision. But when it come to playing a video game and making a decision for a digital person,
absolutely, he was startled. It's great. It's great.
I'm ridiculous. Don't pay me no attention.
Sorry, this is an anime podcast. I promise. Oh right. My goodness. Yeah, I just love it. I love it. I've been addicted to Dying Light 2. It's been messing up my anime watching.
It's a great game. Really just like how I'm at 200 Pokemon caught in Pokemon and I still got 42 to go.
Okay. Damn.
I'm trying to close in on that gap, you know. But real quick, just throw in real quick. I laughed at the strongest stage of the weakest crest when they had the dude come down for the test and he was like, I got my whole school here, and he was like, all right, we got 5 people. Yo, and they put them 5 people was overkill. I was like, yep.
Heat week.
This is what I came for.
I absolutely love when our girl was fighting the dragon. That was incredible. She was just fumbling around. It was amazing.
But we got to follow up that part with the little he was like, how about you have her do it? Because she was looking like she was sleeping stupid. Mm-hmm. And he handed her the sword and she like trying to resheath the sword and end up breaking it. Bending it all around like a noodle. I'm like, okay.
We have been as the kids say, blessed this week with episodes of anime. They have all literally just been fire. And just to give you a little bit of context, I know if you've listened to this, you're probably like, I don't even know what the fuck they talking about because you're listening to this 2 months in the future. But we're referring to episode 10 of Demon Slayer. We're referring to episode 5 of My Dress Up Darling. Episode 4 of How the Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom. Episode 3 of the Genius Prince, episode 4 of Sabigo Bisco, and episode 4 of Attack on Titan Part 2. So those are just the episodes we were touched on. We are going to go into full spoilers on Attack on Titan and Demon Slayer after the break, as well as
My Dress Up Darling. Let's do My Dress Up Darling this week for sure.
Okay, we're going to do My Dress Up Darling. So if you watched all 3 of those shows, stick around with us. If not, thank y'all so much for listening. As always, mic check. Okay, let's get to know Mic Check White Food.
You're funny.
This is part of a podcast where one of us throws a random number generator. It's supposed to be me?
It's you. We got 48 questions.
Okay. And then the other reads the question associated with that number. The number this week is 30. I actually wrote the random number generator last week. I just remembered, but whatever. It's fine.
My bad. What is your favorite book to read?
Every single, I stopped, but every single year I used to read a book called, and I would say I stopped doing this around 3 years ago. But I used to read a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Now, when you hear Think and Grow Rich, you think, oh, it's some how to be rich kind of book, but it's not. It's not at all. It's from an author who wrote a series of stories of entrepreneurs and their stories during the Great Depression, actually. So it's a very, very, very valuable book, a must read. I feel like there's 2 books everybody in the world must read to help them kind of just put stuff into perspective, and that's How to Win Friends and Influence People on that's just discussed on leadership, and if you wanted to be like a manager somewhere or something like that. My old manager gave me that book. Funny enough, my old never mind. I can't say that. I don't want to say that on the air because I'm be liable for litigation. But my old manager gave me that suggestion for that book. Man, he was a schemer though. And then How to Win Friends and Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I think those are books of must reads because the stories that Napoleon Hill from the Great Depression on how people like Ford and Edison did their things, like it's spectacular on must reads for me. Telly D.
So I'm gonna be real with you. I don't really have that many books that I read. One of them I have is How to Outwit Aristotle. And it's really just a philosophical book in terms of like understanding life in general and how to not outwit Aristotle, but just how philosophers and whatnot change throughout time and throughout the world, and which ones basically would have created something that would have been able to outwit Aristotle. Other than that, the current read I have Extreme Ownership.
Oh, okay. It's backwards on the video, so I was like, "What the fuck is that?"
Extreme Ownership: How the U.S. Navy SEALs lead and win.
Oh, okay.
But it's not just like concept of Navy SEALs leading and winning. It's just like how do you take ownership of something, and like you have to take ownership of a group sometimes in order to push forward, especially if like a leader passes or anything like that. So that's my current read.
I like it.
But yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I read weird stuff like How to Outwit Aristotle. If it ain't got nothing to do with some kind of artistic perspective, I don't really touch it normally.
Yeah, true. That's all right. Hey, do us a favor before we go to this break. Make sure y'all subscribe to the YouTube. You do get access to the video versions. Obviously, eventually it comes out to everybody on there. But you also get access to Navi's Lo-Fi playlist, which is a playlist that is curated from all the songs that we use during the break of this podcast. Check it out. It's super chill, super lo-fi, amazing podcast. Amazing playlist full of a bunch of different artists, including our boy Arcane. He's in there, and a few others we use like Lo-Fi Powder and a bunch of other friends and stuff. So check that out. We would appreciate that. And we'll be right back after these. And welcome back to episode 138 of Mic Check Waifu. As always, follow us on Twitter at Polo Bornfly, Nat King Teliano, and at Mic Check Waifu. Make sure if you listen to this podcast, you rate us at on Spotify. I don't know what the fuck I was doing there. On Spotify, iTunes. Give us 5 stars. We'd appreciate that. You know, I just thought about something.
Can I tell you what I'm gonna tell you? Can I tell you what I'm thinking about before you say that?
Sure.
The next Patreon subscriber we get, we're gonna have a whole sensual Polo episode where he do the same thing he did. Last 5 seconds.
Not never gonna happen.
All right, go ahead.
Stupid. What was I? Lost my train of thought. It's gone. My bad. I didn't even throw you off like that. He laughed too hard. It's all
I
good.
threw him off.
Anyway, this is the part of the show where we spoil stuff. First thing we're going to spoil, probably Demon Slayer. We have to fucking spoil Demon Slayer first, please.
Let's do it.
It wins everything. Every award. Best color, best sound design, best music.
Best assholes.
Best art, best fucking just everything. Ufotable or demons. I don't know how they do it. How do you do this?
I have no idea.
I need a documentary, and I don't care if none of it is in English. I just need to see their computers. Like what the fuck?
They all got 268 gigs around.
Jesus Christ. They have to. I mean, they have to at this point.
I'm telling you,
4,000 card series. There's no way
they all use the supercomputers.
It probably took so long. I'm gonna just say this from somebody who knows just a little bit about rendering. I don't know anything about animation, but rendering in general, it had to take at least 4 fucking days to render just this episode.
Not at all. I can tell you why.
No, you can't. It's impossible.
I'm telling you, it is possible. I'm not sure how. Because MKBHD, he shoot his videos in 8K.
No. It's not about that. It's not. It's something so different than just a 10-minute video in 8K. It's something so different, so minute of how they change frame rates, because that gotta every time they change frame rates, which they do a lot in the show because they have to, because of the style of animation that they use, they have to render that scene. So if it's 15 seconds, it has to be rendered. And then if it's another 30 seconds of changing it again, it has to be rendered. Like they have to render it so fucking much. It has to take so long for the editing process to get done, which probably explains why it took so long for Demon Slayer to come back, to be 100% honest with you.
Yeah,
it's all starting to make sense now.
To look this fucking good,
there's no way.
And to just line certain things up, right? Because this is the context I want to bring up for Demon Slayer right here.
Tell 'em.
We talk about intent. I said this earlier. When we say sound design is key and important,
so important.
Did you hear the lack of music in like the first 8 minutes of this fucking episode?
Yes, I did.
Did the lack of music not give you chills?
Yes.
Just the fact that there was no music and no sound outside of this upper 6 demon breaking Tanjiro's hands and berating him and belittling him and shitting on his soul. And even when he flashed back to see his siblings and everything else, there was no music.
The hair on the back of my neck was at a stand like the entire episode. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this?
The lack of music made me feel a loss of hope.
Yes. It rendered me defeated. I was defeated.
I know that our protagonist has to win, but I did not feel that way.
No.
I didn't. I felt that. I didn't feel it at all.
You know how hard that is to do when us as anime watchers, everybody watching the show, we all watch shonen shows. We always know the main character isn't going to die. Like, he's not going to die. He's not going to die. The main characters, I should say, in plural, aren't going to die. And we know this. It's obvious. It's plain and clear. It's shonen. It's the shonen way all the time, no matter what. How the fuck did my dog just break out of his cage?
Give me. He's a shonen protagonist.
Give me 1 second.
Saber is a shonen protagonist. He was like, I'm out of the cage. I'm breaking out. I'm coming to see what my dad is doing. He's recording an anime podcast and I ain't letting it happen. I need love right now. And Saber is showing mad love to Polo. And y'all should too. Show that man some love. Y'all know we love him. He put in a lot of hard work for this podcast, and I hope that y'all give him all the love he deserves, because he really deserves it.
What are you talking about? I'll listen to it. He's a demon. I don't even know how the hell he did that. But because it's three different locks in that case. And I digress.
He's big.
I digress. I was blown back, bro, the entire time. Like, when the moment they didn't have the music, they were showing scenes, and it wasn't any transitions. It was just flashes of a scene. The fire on, like, the fires in the surrounding areas. It was
looks like real fire.
It was looking like real fucking fire. It had to be, somebody had to light something on fire, record it behind a blue screen, green screen, whatever they used, and just clip that. It looked like they did that, but it was so quality and composited into the shot. Unbelievable. If I take a screenshot of that, it'll look like it's real. It's real.
From beginning to end. Like, this is the anime.
To end, this is a fucking shonen anime, bro. That's going to come on Toonami in about 6 months or whatever. It's insane.
I would have never thought we was getting this kind of quality as a kid, bro.
No, bro. Dude, you mean to tell me in 2016 when I was just leisurely watching fucking SAO, shut up, Moody, I wouldn't be blown, like, be getting some shit like this and getting blown back, bro? Like, come on, man. No, there's no way. I mean, but back then I was watching Fate series stuff, and that looks obviously beautiful too, but come the fuck on, Mattel. Come on.
It ain't this good. It wasn't this good.
No.
It's like Ufotable got a whole new bag for this.
I don't know what they did. Well, they probably, the Fate series did bring them in quite a few bags in literal terms.
Mm-hmm. They did. Money bags, Ufotable. Talk about Birkins. They got triples and quadruple Birkins. They got them.
Straight up, bro. It's insane. It's insane. I was blown away.
But let's talk about once it transitions to the action, right?
Yes. Fuck.
Because our boy Tanjiro is getting belittled, berated, and shit on by this upper six demon. And it is tragic. He broke his fingers talking about how you can't even protect your sister.
You ain't
like,
shit.
He's like, I'm gonna let your friend over there wiggle under buildings or the house in rubble until he dies. The other friend, I stabbed him in the heart.
He gone.
The Hashira over there, I cut his hand off and he's dying right there. The poison stopped his heart.
Gone.
So now what are you gonna do? You're the only one left alive.
And you're
a disgrace.
You have a demon for a sister, and she's going to be the one to protect you. You're not protecting her.
Oh my God. And it was like all of this with no music just felt like I felt more and more despair, right? Demon. I'm just like, I'm feeling the loss for Tanjiro.
Facts.
And when he like makes that break and just runs, I'm like, all right, he running. He got to catch his breath, something, right? I don't necessarily know what's about to happen next. I know Tanjiro can't lose. I'm like, who about to come save Tanjiro? What's about to happen?
That boy got kicked.
And he ain't get saved.
I thought it was over, bro. I thought it was it. I thought that was the end of Tanjiro.
But he kicked Tanjiro into a building. Polo is foul, bro. He kicked Tanjiro into a building. And Tanjiro's sitting there catching his breath, having flashbacks of his sister and his siblings again.
I'm like, yeah, you done, bro.
He done. And out of nowhere, and I see it too, because they do like this little quick glance at his head. I'm like, oh, my boy's about to give him a headbutt. But I'm like, hold up, this is a demon. You can't just headbutt this demon and think something's gonna happen.
Facts.
Tanjiro headbutt him, and the demon kind of moved back a little bit. He's smiling and laughing, saying, oh, this had no effect on me. But then he like falls back a little bit more. He's like, hold the fuck, what's going on here? And we see the kunai in his like leg, in his lower leg. And we like, Tanjiro had a plan. He actually followed through on something. He immediately swinging that sword.
And just to stop you right there, though, and fucking Demon Slayer does it so good, because we see after he gets kicked through the building, he's tumbling and he's throwing rocks, he's throwing bullshit at the demon. The demon then goes into a monologue like, how the fuck did this kunai get in my goddamn leg? What the fuck is going on? Oh, this motherfucker did this. And then it went into the breakdown of everything that Tanjiro was doing and the way he was moving. Guess what, Tel? You spoke on it earlier. Intent. Everything he was doing had intent, and it was buffling. I'm like, a smile creaked on my face. I'm like, this motherfucker. When he was poisoned and he was on basically all fours, and Tanjiro brought up that sword, and I saw that flame. I'm like, yes, bitch, yes. Boom, brought it down on the demon's neck, and he was cutting through. But the demon's like, nah, bitch, I'm not gonna give up. I don't give up. You crazy. Xing,
and basically,
more despair.
more despair. Push the sword out. While it ain't working. But we get a moment where what happened was Zenitsu next?
Mm-hmm.
Zenitsu? No.
Nope.
Cause the Hashira pull up.
Yeah, no, because what happened was the demon, after he gets up and he starts attacking Tanjiro, like with like the demons like coming at him with the fucking blood fucking blades, and Tanjiro just jumping back and slicing him. And then from out of nowhere, that's when our boy pop up and then Uzui decides to does his fucking sound fucking.
He did the sound score, muscle score, whatever
the fuck it was. I forgot what it was called because I was so enthralled with what I was looking at on screen. It was beautiful, bro. It was a scene, bro. It was a scene where when he was talking about the score move he was doing, that the shit turned into music paper, bro, to composer paper. The shit turned into composer paper, and you saw his blood art like as the music notes on the fucking screen. And guess what, Till? That was like not even 3 seconds of that, but it was there, and there was some shit they had to render again. It was just amazing. I'm just like, I can't. How, bro?
This the sound Hashira, and I did like the fact that our demon had no idea what was going on. He said, "Did he just turn my blood demon art into music?"
He was blown back
in order to cut it away. Facts. And he's staying on the wall. Now he's fighting Tanjiro and Uzui together. Uzui has one hand, but Uzui, he's a Hashira. He can put in work like that. He's holding his own against this demon all over again, missing a hand. He came back harder than ever. It's wild.
Yep.
What they do is they do a great job. And we said this once before, twice before, 3 times before. These Hashira, they do such a good job of instilling like a sense of strength and pride and like dignity and separation hope whenever these characters do something. Yeah, separation. They are leagues above our protagonists. No matter what our protagonists do to make a huge impact, these Hashira, they still make a bigger impact whether they live or die. Bro, it's amazing.
It's incredible. I mean, but at this point, even though Tanjiro was beat, battered, and brutally injured, he is running with the Hashira and the demon as they're fighting. And he's like, "Yo, I got to find my opportunity. I just got to go." And he's booking it. He's gone. He put on the Usains and he was out. So why he chasing
boats like Zenitsu,
right? Why he chasing him? He then comes across the opportunity to make the slash happen. The problem with the slash is this motherfucker is damaged. Like, I don't even know how he's moving right now. I'm confused because he's a demon himself. He has to be, because the way he's able to move after getting his ass fucking demolished almost the entire fucking season or arc is incredible.
Now, I would like to say before this point though.
Oh yeah. No. It wasn't at that point though until Tanjiro made the move to try to go for his neck when he had that one opportunity after the Hashira did. He said, "Well, as long as my sister's still alive," and then that's when we cut to the sister.
Yeah,
and that's when Zenitsu makes his fucking move, and that's when everything Till said about Zenitsu was right until after he's done, and it's all gonna be wrong again because it's gonna be fucking annoying.
Zenitsu said, "Fuck everything y'all heard about me."
The entire arc.
Whatever you heard about me is not true.
I'm gonna stay asleep.
I'm that boy.
Sleep.
I'm looking at the camera. Zenitsu was like, "I'm that boy." If y'all got the Patreon exclusive, y'all see what's going on. I'm that boy. Zenitsu was like, hey,
man, quit staring at my soul like that, bro. Back up.
I pull up. Zenitsu was like, "I pull up," and he pulled up. Was like about to cut through her head, and we found out that he used thunderclap and flash godlike speed. That's what it was. It was godlike speed, and sheesh,
shook me to my core, bro. I'm like, this motherfucker's
Hold up, you see me?
I do. He's a demon, absolute fucking demon.
That's what I want to hear. You put some respect on Zenitsu's name right now.
I wasn't done for now. I ain't put a period on the sentence when I was saying he was an absolute demon for now, and then that's when the period comes in. Because when you wake up, it's gonna be all she wrote.
Yo, he been asleep for 5 episodes. Give that man some respect,
hey,
bro.
yo, he has been. Listen, I think it literally has been like 6 episodes. This man been asleep, and you know what? I leave him sleep for a whole season. I don't give a fuck, because then I'm like not rolling my eyes at all.
Rowlet, use Razor Leaf on Polo.
I just put out a Pokemon card on the fucking podcast. I hate this podcast. But a fucking Pokemon card? Oh my God. Anyway. I can't even fucking think straight now. Oh yeah. Zenitsu could pull up, do the godlike speed, and literally go straight for her neck. Literally. He's straight at her neck. And when he does,
halfway cuts it.
Yep, he halfway cuts the neck, and that's when we were like, she's like, oh shit. I'm not gonna let you do this. You're gonna get sliced up before you even finish cutting through. Boom. Go back to Usui and fucking Demon Tanjiro. Tanjiro's literally going through it yet again. Still trying to slice. It ain't going through. But then, flashback. He has a flashback of his family again. They come back. He then puts all the force he can possibly muster by not giving up. Hence the title of the episode, Don't Give Up. Not giving up, mustering it through. And as tacky as the don't give up part is or was, it was so fucking well done. So well done by the writers of Demon Slayer. Like,
is it considered tacky then, if it was well done?
Yes, because it's still a tacky trope, right? Like, never give up, believe it, I'm going to be the pirate kid. It's all fucking tacky. But when it's done right, it's nice. Tacky, I guess, I can make tacky look nice still, you know what I'm saying? If you give me a tacky suit, I can still make that shit look good, but it's still tacky, you know what I'm saying? So it was beautifully done, so beautifully done, well written. So when he comes through, he's coming through with everything he got, but then the fucking demon, literal demon, not the proverbial might check waifu demon comes through and hit him with the scythe in the neck. I'm like, this motherfucker got a tongue ring now. He
put it through the bottom, not his neck, to the bottom of his jaw.
Yep.
Right.
Now Tanjiro got a tongue ring. A fucking 4-inch tongue ring hole in his tongue because.
And at this point, Tanjiro is like, there's no way I'm cutting through his neck. And he's like, I don't have the leverage.
Yep.
My body's not in the right position to do it.
Yep.
I can't cut through. And that he has flashbacks. He's like, I gotta do it. No matter what it is, I gotta swing my body through to do it. So he starts pushing through even more. And as he's getting closer to that cut,
he turns into demon mode, Tanjiro.
And his eyes change color. We see Inosuke.
Fucking Inosuke, but Inosuke comes in later while Tanjiro is still wide-eyed, and it was an evolution in his head. You can see the flame forming on his head, and he's transforming into a Super Saiyan and fucking Demon Slayer. What the fuck is that? I don't care, but I liked it.
It was beautiful.
It was beautiful. So when he's turning into the Super Saiyan, that's when you start to see the cut, and the demon's like, oh, that's okay. As long as my sister's still here, I can survive this. Even though his head is like halfway cut through already at this point, he's like, oh, I'm good. My sister's good. We're going to be all right. As Zenitsu's cutting through, we then see my boy, who used to be my boy, Inosuke, pull up. This is nothing. I'm flexible and shit. I can move my organs. That's
his English voice. His sub voice is not that bad.
Same damn thing.
It's not that.
I can move my
Apollo is a hater, bro. I swear to God. Inosuke does not sound that bad in subs.
I'm sorry.
He sound like trash in dubs, but in the subs, he actually sound decent.
Dope. He sound dope. But he says, I'm flexible. I can move my organs around. This is nothing for me. I'm still alive, bitch. And then he pull up and help Zenitsu out with his speed guy, like with some fucking board damage, obviously. You know what's cool about that part? They mentioned throughout this entire arc how he's an absolute demon when it comes to like just mobility and like
his body
and just his physical endurance. But they also dropped in a little hint about how his swords is such a pain for that belt user. At the very beginning of this arc, she was like, I can't fucking stand his swords because they're so I can't stand him because he's so unpredictable, and his swords are fucking just, what are they? And it was giving her problems. And then when he finally comes through and help, you're like, oh shit, it's gonna get cut. And it gets cut. But then we flash back to Tanjiro when he's still going flame Super Saiyan 2 mode. Finally cuts off dude's head. Both heads cut off same time.
rolled together
with intention. Like
my God.
Like a flip of 2 coins, both their fucking heads come rolling in right next to each other.
And we know what happens when Tanjiro uses the Hinokami Kagura. He runs out of breath. And he's completely tired after doing a good job.
Well, no, he's tired. He's not just tired, Till. The motherfucker's poisoned now, okay? Mm-hmm. He's fighting for his fucking life. Y'all killing me with this shit. He's fighting for his life right now. Trying to survive that poison. He's
trying to just catch his breath.
He's trying to catch his breath. He's trying to, like, the poison's getting to him. He's like, oh, poison's getting to me. His eyes is closing. All you hear is...
We see Uzui.
Yeah, we don't hear nothing because this is another fucking beautiful sound design moment. We see Uzui coming in like, it's not over, Kamado. It's not over. Fraud, get out of here. And he's like,
yeah, he's doing a run.
Yeah, he's like beaten, battered too.
Oh my God. But as he's doing that, we see and I love this. They do so much good shit in this animation because animation doesn't always have to be just how beautiful something is. Mm-hmm. It's the intention. Mm-hmm. Now, what they did with the intention here is that they kept focusing out of focusing with Tanjiro's vision with what we saw.
With a cloud.
And the sound was coming in and going out. And he was struggling. He's on like death's door. And as soon as Uzui says, run, it's not over, run, we get a quick glimpse of the Upper Six Demon's body and it just explodes.
And then it pans out to the entire city with this fucking picture-like quality.
It is so beautiful.
Of the town in fucking full disarray. Absolute garbage town now. It's literally just 2x4s and a couple of roof shingles. And then you see the explosion from a distance and you don't hear anything. The flame pops up. And then the credits come on.
Those are the credits. And what made it gave me chills too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because not only was the silence in the beginning unsettling, but you turn on this ending where all we see is an explosion, and then for minutes we just get to see the ashes and everything settle.
Yep. The light slowly start to fade.
It goes from bright red from the blood art and the ashes and everything to like just a dark, like you can still see the town, but you just see basically darkness and the few remaining ashes settle. And I'm telling you, I'm getting chills talking about it right now. Same. But I had chills watching it, bro. And I left it on. I watched it entirely all the way to the end.
Yeah, as soon as Nezuko popped up, I'm still watching it.
And I hate to say it, but like I watched that last few minutes like it was a movie.
Same.
Like I didn't know what was coming.
Yep.
And I wanted more. And I knew I wasn't gonna get more. I knew this was gonna be the end of the episode, but the way that they did that, it was like they gave you a second to breathe.
I didn't breathe the entire time.
At all. Like they told you, hey, look, breathe.
Nope.
And I'm sitting there like this. Like no breath. No nothing. Like it's what's coming next, man.
So shout out to Dad Needs to Talk podcast at Dad Needs to Talk podcast on Twitter, aka Rob. He said it's going to be a 45 minutes episode next week. I didn't know this. Thankfully, the season finale is next week. There's going to be a 45-minute episode next week. We're going to review I think we should review the Entertainment District arc in itself. We're not going to review it's fucking weird the way they do the season, so we're just going to review that arc. Maybe we'll even average it with Demon Slayer, the score we have between the movie, the show, and shit.
I'm gonna say we average it once the entirety is done.
Okay, we can average the whole thing when the entirety is done. You are absolutely right. We're gonna review that next week, so stay tuned for that. I guess we should move on to Attack on Titan.
It's hard to go to Attack on Titan after that because I still got you.
Let me tell you, bro, it was so hard for me to watch Attack on Titan and actually. Okay, I'm not gonna say that because I was just about to tell a lot of everybody. I still didn't care about Attack on Titan, but it was so hard for me to watch it and give a fuck even because I watched it right after. I'm like, that's why I said when y'all was in the Discord with me while I was watching this shit, I'm like, I should have put this on first Because I'm like, I fucked up. I watched Demon Slayer first, then I went to Attack on Titan. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about nothing that's going on here. But then I realized it was like some of my favorite chapters. They were actually showing with Ymir, and I'm like, okay, I can deal with this. I can deal with this. And it was cool to see that Ymir shit played out. But I feel excited for anime onlys with what they're watching, because they're all like so excited. I'm afraid of what it's going to be at the end, what my Twitter's going to look like at the end if they decide to keep the end. But I have a question for you, Tel, before we get into the spoilers of this particular episode.
All right.
Do you think, my Telly D. Williams, that this will be an anime exclusive ending, and then we have a manga exclusive ending?
No.
Same.
If they do an anime exclusive ending, it will cause so many problems. And they've already discussed it. I'm pretty sure they already discussed it, because the writer was planning on changing. Didn't he write in a whole other ending for Attack on Titan?
I forgot about that. I never read it though, because I didn't care.
I didn't read it either, but it's like, I have an issue with artists and trying to appease their fan base with stuff like this. Yes. And I get it, because they're the ones making you money, and they've gotten you this far, and you want to give them some kind of atonement. Like, you want to make that. But I'm gonna be real with you.
You made your money, bro, and you made your money. Chill. Yeah.
Like, it's your art. You don't have to appease nobody, bro.
Fuck them.
Like,
fuck them.
Let your story be what you want your story to be. Let it be told the way you want it to be told. Don't worry about us. We gonna either love it or hate it. And yes, you want the ratings and all that shit, but so what?
Fuck that.
So what? You already outsold One Piece 1 year. Let it go. You done already made legendary status. You good. Just you can have a bad ending.
True. It's okay. And that's okay.
We're gonna talk shit about it.
Facts.
You can have a bad ending, but we're gonna talk shit about it, and we still gonna love you. We're gonna love you for all the greatness you gave us for the first 3 seasons.
Absolutely. And let me just remind you, did we think it was bad? I don't think it was bad. I don't think it was a bad ending at all. Was it a good ending?
It was what had to be done. It was the most basic of what had to be done endings.
Yes. It was it a good ending? No. Was it a bad ending? No. I don't think it was either or, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. I'm okay with that ending completely. So I don't know. I agree with you 100%. Like, don't appease these motherfuckers.
I will also say, I think I would have rather just had an outright like bad ending though, like something that just people just don't like,
than one you're indifferent about. I agree.
Because that means if you have a bad ending, that means that it was polarizing.
Enough. Yes. Talk to them. Tell them. Listen, I agree with that. And that's probably why, again, more of the feeling of why I don't care about anybody or anything in the show anymore. Because like I was indifferent. I'm like, okay. I'm glad I read it though. I'm okay with watching it. You know? Is it good? Is the show good? Yeah. It's a good show. I would say it's a good show. I would never say it's a bad show. Am I enjoying it? Fuck no. I'm bored out of my fucking mind. I'm not gonna hold you. But there are some pieces of parts that I like that I read, like the Ymir thing, and then
even in the beginning, like kind of leaving off where we left,
picking up where we left off. Yep, and then the way they showed the rumbling starting was beautiful. It was mappa gorgeous. I did like that shit with the bug coming out and shit. That fucking bug, bro. That fucking bug. It just ruined the fucking. Okay, I'm not even gonna go too far ahead of myself and talk about manga spoilers, because I ain't gonna do that to y'all. But it's so fucking. It's no. I'm having a meltdown. It's just stupid, but it's okay. You know, it's okay. A centipede. All right, sorry. I'm sorry. No longer spoilers, but a fucking centipede. Actually, this is anime spoilers because we saw it in the show. A fucking centipede created this entire fucking end of the world. Like, I'm blown back, bro. It's so stupid. What did you think about the Ymir story part, bro?
First of all, here's the thing: is that like I see a lot of parallels with like. And this is what it's meant to be. It's meant to look like kind of like how a slave is endeared to like
it's
a master.
Story in a Bible. It's literally I forget which one, but
so like the Ymir is like beholden to her master and always answers his calls and everything like that, willing to put her life on the line and everything like that. And just the fact that that Ymir story goes, and then also the fact that like how Eren had his revelation in this episode, because like we saw it in the manga, but like to kind of see, because they do these faces, like they be so overboard for the faces, which is hilarious, because they don't have to be that dramatic.
But that's how the manga was though.
Yeah, but like the faces was dramatic. So like when we see Ymir break down and crying because Eren is like, this is probably what you've been waiting for.
She did an ugly cry face too.
It was like this whole time Ymir's been looked at as a weapon, as a slave, as a god, as all these things, but never a person. Right.
The coolest part was when you touch on that, her Eren telling her like, you've been used as this fucking weapon. You're tired of it for 2,000 years. The fact that her eyes was even showed, because the emphatic
her whole time,
the emphatic point of this entire episode was the eyes. Like Mappa did their fucking thing with camera animation, quote unquote camera animation, with where the camera was at all times. The camera tracked Ymir's eyes and probably most of this entire episode, from when she changed and when she was falling in
and previous episodes too.
Yeah, in previous episodes too. They made it. They hyper focused the eyes, and that's not even just the Mappa thing. That's literally the mangaka art, like his art style in this particular situation. And why I thought it was so cool when I was reading, I'm like, oh, this motherfucker, he was on one, because he was like, you know, focus on these eyes, but don't make it obvious. Like, even though it was obvious, it wasn't perceived to be obvious if you didn't know what the fuck was going on until that era.
Why Ymir always had her head down, or her eyes can never fully be seen. Like you would only see like the shadow, like expression, where her forehead starts all the way down to her eyes. Yeah, but we got to see that emotional release from Ymir, and this shit was insane. Yeah,
it's cool.
The part that really got me though was, I guess, ultimately the ending, where Eren kind of breaks down and says what he did.
Yep.
He explained that I'm talking to the citizens of Ymir.
Yep. The people of Eldia.
Yeah. And no, the subject. I'm talking to the subjects of Ymir.
Yep.
And he says, I started the rumbling, and we're heading for it now. Just so y'all know, it's about to get real, and I'm going to have the Titans stomp on every piece of land outside of ours. I was like, God damn.
Okay, this is just for try to take your mind out of what you know from the manga. Okay, did you feel like that was a warning?
I think so. Here's the thing. It's hard to take my mind outside of the manga.
I know. It's impossible.
It was definitely. I think it was definitely like.
Did it feel like that?
I don't even know if it's a warning, because in the way I see it, there's nothing that's stopping him.
No. That's not even the question I'm asking, though.
I don't think it's a warning. I think it was. Okay. I think if I was in my mind in that moment in the anime, like if I lived in that world, I'm thinking like that's what's about to happen. Ain't shit I can do. Like I'm gonna try and stop it, but ain't nothing I can do.
Right. So
you see what he just did, and you see what we did before he got there.
Right.
Ain't nothing I can do.
Right. That's why, again, that goes bring yourself back into the manga. That goes to show like why I feel like the manga is just weird, because that shit didn't feel like that. Even when I read it, I'm like, that didn't feel like that. So how?
But did the anime give you that feel? No. Like it was like almost like there was nothing you could do.
It kind of gave me I made me feel a little bit better, because it did kind of feel like more of, because when I was reading it didn't feel like that when I fuck man, how can I say this? Because
it's animated, it feels more close to reality. Like
it feels more
like
close.
You can live through it.
No. It feels more close to like he was sending a message, which is
what he did,
which is the intention, I guess. And the message was, it's so hard to talk outside of like without fucking going into like manga spoilers. Fuck. But
welcome to my life, Polo.
it does feel like that was his intention, which I think helps quite a bit. It's going to help the ultimate outcome. Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's going to help the ultimate outcome when you start to realize, you know, when the outcome gets played out, how it's going to get played out. When you realize how it's getting played out, you're like, oh, okay.
So you think it was a warning, not a saying, not like a I'm about to fuck y'all up, but it was like a warning, like this is what's about to happen.
Absolutely,
take heed.
It was, yeah, and it was, to me, it was perceived that way. It wasn't perceived that way to Armin and Mikasa yet, right? Obviously, but
because of what they say,
yeah. But it was him doing that, was him kind of making it known that this is what he was trying to do. Fuck, bro, that's hard to do. This is hard. I'm sorry, Till. I don't know how you do it. It's hard, but yeah, you know, I'm gonna talk to you about it after the show ends.
You want to talk about it now?
yeah, I want to talk about it now, but I'm not gonna do that because I want anime watchers to not know, because I think it's gonna be special when they do.
All right, let's transition then to my dress up darling.
We already talked about it early at the beginning of the podcast, but this show's fucking amazing.
So we got to see the full cosplay.
Real quick though, is this the best character dynamic this season between these two?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
the characters are opposites, but they come together for a specific purpose, and it makes them feel not like opposites.
Yeah, man. I just feel like their personalities just are so good together. Like
I think
they belong together.
I agree. Like this is like a relationship, right? Like my wife and I, we don't have the same interests, but we come together on things that we do enjoy. We both enjoy. Like we both enjoy music a lot. She's a singer, I'm a dancer, so we come together sometimes on music and things like that. And it feels almost like those interests combine into something that just feels way more authentic.
Right.
So I feel like these two characters they're not normal people who would normally just engage in these things together out in public, but because they had that similar interest and they're helping each other, like they feel almost like destined.
Yeah, and it's so adorable, man. I absolutely love how adorable that is between them. But yeah, we get to see the full costume. She looks fucking incredible in it. He did an incredible job with designing it. They decide, she's like, yo, I want to go. Let's go. They go to the fucking cosplay event, which is fucking awesome, by the way, to get a look at that culture. Hey. Something completely different than what we don't ever see in any anime period, or even just if you don't go on YouTube and look for it specifically, you would never even find that kind of shit, right? To just see it and seeing them all come together, and then seeing the main character realize like, this shit is amazing. How these people can come together, guys dressed up as girls, it don't matter. People just being themselves, and I think that was an important piece of this episode.
It reminded me of my first con and like how that experience was, because I felt out of place because I wasn't dressed up, but I also felt at home because these are people who were into the same thing I was into.
Right.
So it's a really cool concept that I finally get to see this in like an actual anime, and just these characters with this kind of dynamic and in this environment. Yes. We got to see what the fuck is her name? We got to see Marion Kitagawa. That's her name?
Yeah, Kitagawa.
We got to see Kitagawa kind of fully dive into that persona that she wanted to with the slippery girl.
Amazing. I need to watch that. I need to play that.
That game?
Yeah.
Is it a real game?
Probably.
All right. Well, we got to see her fully invest into that aesthetic where she makes the faces and stuff like that, and we even find out a little bit more about like how hard it is to even do that, right? Like to stay dressed up in a costume for so long to where you start sweating
But the way they did it was so clean, because then we got from Gojo's perspective, Gojo's perspective about how, oh shit, I picked the fucking heaviest fabric. Oh no, I used unbreathable, I use unbreathable fabric doing it, and just to get a look at his world,
because she's not a doll, she's a person.
Yeah, and she has no idea about that world of clothes creation that he does. So we got to look at both of their worlds from both two different angles. But she was just basically learning about hers. Like it was so good, man. Such an amazing thing to see, and just seeing him admire her while she was taking her pictures, like, yo, this is amazing. But then
I will say part of it's her fault though, because she adding extra shit on the, what is it called, the new bra. I don't know what that is, but don't do that. It worked for what it was supposed to work for, but don't do that. You made problems. Almost killed yourself out there.
Yeah, you did. You killed me.
That sweat.
Yeah, it was interesting. But like the inner monologue, again, we love shows that can do inner monologue well. Like I don't know why that's so important to us. We're weird. Like we would look at fucking small shit like that in anime, like, oh, that's so cool. But they went Hachiman with this fucking inner monologue. He's like, yo, now that I'm done, now I'm back to being Gojo.
And his worries.
Yeah, he's on his mind. He's in his anxiety right now. It's eating him. Like, well, I have fun. I'm gonna give up now, basically.
And he goes on this whole like kind of like he does that inner monologue in his head, and she kind of looks at him, you can see she's trying to figure out what he's thinking. Oh no, she was looking for him. Period. She thought she lost him. Oh yeah, I'm thinking about, I guess, like more on the train part. Yeah, that's at the end. But when she finds him, that's when she gets cooled down, and we discover that the shit wasn't made right. But I do think that part where he realized, like, I'm gonna be alone after this was important, because he looks at her and he gives her this smile, and she sees that smile, and it's like, oh, okay. It was like a mental note she kept for later. Then everything plays out. Everything goes well. It works out. Seeing a little adorable, her take her pictures or whatever with people, and she accumulating different fans and stuff. That was amazing to see. Then the most important part is the train part. Oh my god, it was incredible. It was beautiful. She was talking. She was telling her stories about what she wanted to do, and she's like, well, what's going to be the next cosplay? And you can see this weight being lifted from his shoulders when he realizes that, oh, we're still going to be friends after this. I can still help her out and achieve this. This is amazing. Then what happens? She starts talking about how great everyone looked. All these people looked amazing. They worked so hard in their cosplay. But before that, though, one part that you probably didn't notice that I did. Go ahead. Obviously, he worked extremely hard on that costume. He was tired. He was standing up all night. But on top of what happens when you have anxiety, when you have really bad anxiety, especially social anxiety, you come from those social events or circles or anything that happens that you're doing like super social. Maybe you can speak to this with your girlfriend. Is after you're done, you're fucking beat, bro. You feel like you just ran 12 miles because you're tired. Adrenaline is down, and it's like you're coming down from a sugar high. It feels so bad. Like, it's so bad. I feel like that's what he was experiencing on that train. Not just that he just was tired from working all hard, but he was just. That's why I'm like, the show does anxiety so well. All the stress relief, and him just finally sitting down and coming I hate this word, just like I hate fucking strategic. Compartmentalize. There it is. Yes, it's not just me. Thank God. Yes, everybody know what I'm talking about. Everybody had those words. Don't judge me. He finally was able to settle decompress. He was able to decompress his thoughts and put them all together. And then he gets tired. He gets exhausted, and he does do what I think was an amazing fucking just piece of writing. And he just was like, you were very beautiful, Katigawa. Destroy me. Because of what they said. Because the same thing that I thought that same thing she thought. And I'm like, oh, this motherfucker just gave her the beautiful word. And then she thought that, when I saw that she was thinking that, and the flashbacks was hitting of her remembering what he means by when he says that and how important that is to him, which is something so small that you would never even think about. But hear me out. How you skip his flashbacks? Because when she was talking about, that's true. Everybody looked beautiful. It all looked so nice. He had his own flashbacks, but all his flashbacks, it wasn't about anyone else but her. That's all he saw, and it was all the faces she made. And he said that. He said, "Wow, she was talking about everybody else." Yo, you're right. I'm tripping. He's like, Katagawa, you looked beautiful. And she does the whole red face thing, and she's like, "Oh my gosh!" She's like getting flustered. You can see her kind of like swelling up. Those flashbacks was amazing though. And she looks at him and he's knocked out, bro. Gone. He is done. He is tired. He needed that. And it was like, it almost felt like to me, because I didn't necessarily catch the anxiety part of it, but it felt like him having that moment to bond with someone, that this moment was so important to him that he could say that she was beautiful, was the last thing he needed to actually get rest after everything he's been through with putting it together and kind of going through this day and making sure everything was right. He felt, and like I said, I don't have the same anxiety, so I can't quite understand. But the way I see it is he felt so much relief after this, you know, being able to understand that he's not going to be alone, that this person, he had a beautiful experience with this person, you know, and he also thought this person was beautiful, that like he finally was able to just take that sigh, get that off his chest and get some rest for a little bit.
Yeah. I don't even think he was even thinking about that. He's just like, yo, I'm fucking beat, bro. It's so crazy, bro. It's so crazy. Like that time when we got, when me and you, we all got from Galleria Mall, I did that. I was out, bro. I was just gone. That was the fucking hardest day of my life. It was so much shit.
I'm sorry.
No, it's not your fault. It's not your fault.
No, I get it though. I'm sorry. That's what I was saying.
It was rough.
I try to be cognizant of that now, because growing up with Polo, look, y'all don't know this.
Get out of my soul. Quit looking at the camera like that.
Growing up with Polo, I had no idea he had anxiety. Yeah. He did not demonstrate signs of anxiety openly, so I had no fucking idea.
I'm shocked, because you know this about me. Whenever my mom had her get-togethers and all of our family was over and you was over, where was I?
In his room.
I was chilling, bro. I was in the fucking room. Even my own family, I can't do that shit. I can't do a lot of people, and that's it was always like this. It's crazy. It's a fucking powerful thing.
It's I get it, bro. You was always kicking it with me and people though. Like I guess we never rolled with a big group.
No, we didn't. We went to we went to a lot of places, quite a few places, but it was never ever anywhere where we would never. It was rare we went to the mall.
Our group was tight knit.
Yeah, we never went to the mall and just kicked it around a shit ton of people. We did go to the mall a few times, like when we were doing the photography thing, but I felt I was okay because it was work. It was work. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or I had other distractions. But it was crazy. It's crazy.
So like I said earlier, while Polo went to go take care of Saber and put him back in his cage, that man put a lot of hard work into this podcast. Show him some love.
I appreciate that,
because he really be working.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And with that, that'll be a wrap. 42 minutes of spoiler. Our spoilers talk a bit longer than the first half.
Yeah, I mean, we did 30 minutes on Demon Slayer alone.
That's a fact.
All right, we just finished talking about My Dress Up Darling and all of its amazingness. Our episode of the week. Let us know what your episode of the week was, because sheesh, that was a great one. Mm-hmm. We also talked about Attack on Titan and some of our expectations for it. What are your expectations for Attack on Titan? Are you hyped for what's going on? Are you a manga reader and you kind of a little suspect right now? Let us know. Demon Slayer.
Demons.
Objectively, episode of the week, if we're being objective here, but let's be real, we can't just give it to Demon Slayer every week. Amazing episode though. We also got to know Mike Check Waifu before the break. What's your favorite book to read? We both dropped some of ours. Let us know what yours are. Strongest Sage of the Week is Crest, another quick, funny little anime, a great one to watch. We also played Dying Light 2. Maybe we might do that for After Story a little bit and share something, or tune in to After Story regardless. Talked about K-City of Vanitas. Polo might be picking this up on subs. I'm not sure, but the dub is coming soon. It's real good. Love, Election, and Chocolate. I thought this was hentai, but apparently
I forgot I mentioned that. Oh,
it's a nice little slice of life that Polo was watching.
I don't know if it's nice. It's weird.
Shibuku Bisco. We thought dude was a savage, but it's more detail, more depth to it than that. Mm-hmm. Land of Liddell. We talked about identity with this one, about how some anime just needed a little bit of identity, and because it identifies itself is really good. Something like Platinum End needs to do that, which we talked about before that. We also talked about get your compression pants for the gym. Don't just go in there with your drawers, bro.
No, you can't do that. You can't do that.
And like I said, our episode of the week was My Dress Up Darling. And also, shout out to our new Patreon producer, Jay Lee.
Johnny.
Hey, Anime Lyrical. We respect y'all. We love y'all. Thanks for all the love.
All 27 of y'all.
Right. That's been episode 138 of Mike Check Waifu.
I am at Polo Born Fly on all social media.
I'm at King Telly. I don't know, on social media.
You can follow our social media at Mike Check Waifu on Twitter and at Mike Check Waifu on TikTok. And as always, Mike Check.
And right here, we merely rock on every block. We just.
So I'm gonna just keep this in. But so somebody said that Till got cut off when he was talking at the end of the podcast, but that was because it was the end of the podcast. So you were talking and I just cut it off. But
Hey yo, I just be talking.
You're now tuned into Mike Check Waifu Waifu.